Welcome to Stogie Geeks News for June 26th, 2015. I'm your host, Paul Asadorian, joined on the lines via Skype by Will Cooper. Welcome, Will.
Hey, Paul, how's it going today?
It's going fantastic, Will. Excited about the news. In particular, there's all three of them are very exciting. So let's get right into it.
Yeah, I think we kind of get right into it with the first story. This is probably, in my opinion, going to be the showpiece cigar at IPCPR this year, but Padron has announced they are coming out with a new line of cigars. The new line of cigars is a complete departure, I would say, from what they've done in the past, from what I call the Padron formula. So let me explain what I mean by that. It's called the Padron Damaso. And this is going to be as described, a golden brown Connecticut cigar. And it's also going to be a rounded Parejo series.
Oh, really? I didn't. I just started reading about this, Will, and I was, of course, I big Connecticut fan myself, and a lot of big companies have come out with Connecticut cigars, and I always hope that they make it into my regular smoking rotation, and very few have. So it's really hard to stand out in the Connecticut shade, and not just Connecticut shade, but a Connecticut shade in that mild to medium category, Will, which is where they're targeting the cigar, correct?
Yeah, oh, they're targeting, I think, closer to the mild, but yes, exactly.
It can be tough. I mean, the EP Carrillo, Avo, certainly, those are the two brands that really stick into my mind as ones that they really nail that mild to medium, and I buy boxes of those to smoke on a regular basis. So I'm very curious if Padron will enter into that elite status, in my opinion, of Connecticut cigars that are in that mild to medium category. I also think it's very interesting. It's one of their few that are not going to be that soft box press on the Padron.
Right. I mean, the Padron has a formula, and there's two parts of the formula. It's that soft box press, although there's been a couple of one-off shoots that have been rounded.
Yeah, 85th.
For like shop.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is the Maduro Natural combination. So this is just kind of going off in a completely different direction in that they're going with the Connecticut wrapper. They have not disclosed whether it's U.S. or Ecuadorian Connecticut. That we don't know. And they're actually, as even the name, they're going and they're naming it after Damaso Padron, who is the patriarch of the family going back to the 19th century, who came over to Cuba from the Canary Islands. So he was a grower.
Have they released the sizes?
Yes, they have. 4 sizes. And the numbers are apparently named after the ages of Jose Padron's grandchildren. So there is a number 8, which is a 5.5 by 46, a number 12, which is a 5 by 50, a number 15, which is a 6 by 52, and a number 17, which is a 7 by 54.
Okay, so no Torpedo or Bellicoso, but they've got a traditional Corona Robusto Toro and like a Toro Grande, I would say.
Yeah, I would say it's like a Toro Grande or it's even double Corona Grande.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a little fatter than a traditional double Corona. It's going to be very interesting to see how Padron enters into this portion of the market that they haven't played in up until this point.
Think about it. For a long time they didn't have anything in this segment. So it's a segment that, and they're so traditional. And while this doesn't sound like a revolutionary cigar by any means, I'm sure it's going to be really good. That's Padron. It's revolutionary for Padron, because because they just haven't they have that formula that they've stuck with for 50 years.
Absolutely. Will, what else we got?
So big news out of my father, and we actually had the privilege of being the first to report this on Cigar Coop. The My Father limited edition series is coming back. It's they're going to have the My Father limited edition 2015. So that was originally released in 2010, and that was the Coffin release that was really, really well received, and that had the Pelo de Oro and all that. And then they released a 2011 and a 2012. There really hasn't been a My Father Limited except for that Dom Pepin 10th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
But for the 15, they're going back to the coffins. So there will be coffins with the 2015 release. It will be the usual size cigar, which is that 6.5 by 52, that Super Toro size. Wrapper is going to be Ecuadorian Habano Rosado Oscuro. Double binder, a Nicaraguan Corojo 2006 and a Nicaraguan Habano, and a Nicaraguan filler. From what I've been told, 4,200 boxes total, with 4,000 of those boxes going to the U.S. It will be debuting at Casa de Monte Cristo in Chicago before IPCPR, so it will be for sale before the show, but they'll be the only store to have it.
And that's not a whole lot of cigars either. How does this blend, Will, compare to some of the previous My Father limited editions?
It's pretty similar. I don't want to say it's exactly the same, but they tend to go with that Ecuadorian Habano wrapper over the Nicaraguan binder and filler. I think the double binder is the big difference this year.
So if you like the previous ones, chances are this one's probably going to be in your wheelhouse, although it remains to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, the 2011 and 2012, from what I understood, were very, very similar. The 2010 was a lot of people consider that an iconic cigar. I was a little late kind of warming up to that cigar, but when I did, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I remember smoking some of the older ones with a little bit of age on them, and they were certainly pretty spectacular. So, I think this is something that you definitely want to. They're going to be pricey, I would assume. I would say if you liked the previous ones, and I liked some of the previous ones that were aged, then I'll probably buy two: one to smoke now and one to put down and rest in my humidor.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So what else? Because this last story I'm very excited about as well. I mean, as excited as I could be about a Padron Connecticut offering, I'm very excited about the Camacho Liberty series, as it's one of those kind of iconic cigar limited releases. And in 2015, they're coming out with a new one, as they have every year since, I believe, 2002. And this is always an interesting cigar for me.
Yep, and I have it in my hand.
Nice.
Yep, it is the 2015 Liberty. It was really interesting. They announced they're shipping them. They called up retailers saying, hey, hey, it's coming. Do you want it? And they arrived at the stores yesterday. I picked mine up. I haven't opened it yet, but what's different about this one is it is a Nicaraguan Puro.
I was going to ask if they changed up the blend on this one, and being a Nicaraguan Puro, I think that's certainly a departure from previous Camacho Liberties.
Yeah, it's in fact, it's the first all Nicaraguan Puro. And I think if you go back as far as there's been some Honduran Puros. I know the 2010 was a Honduran Puro as well. And it's using that famous 1118 size that
love that size.
Love that. So you can see they went back with with that and get the focus in there. There's a Liberty Bell. So it's a very different type of smoke.
Very cool.
Little more pricier with this one.
Usually they're around $12, $13.
This one, what I've been told, is going to be priced closer. I want to say it's closer to $16.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yep.
I can't wait to smoke that with Nicaraguan Puro. Certainly is something that I'll try. I haven't been all that impressed with some of the more recent Camacho Liberty ones. You can find reviews on cigar-coop.com and stogiegeeks.com. If you search for Camacho Liberty, well, I'm sure you've reviewed them. We've certainly reviewed several of them on the show, going back as far as 2005. I think I smoked a 2004 and did not review it for the site, but you can find 2007, 2010, 2012, 2014 all reviewed on our respective websites at cigar-coop.com and stogiegeeks.com.
Yeah, I think it's a good point, too, that I don't think there's been a home run Liberty in a while. I really like the 2010, which wasn't one of the more popular ones, but I don't think they have had that home run. I will say the 2012, which was the one that came out before they rebranded Camacho, it aged very, very well. And if you have it, that's the Honduran Puro. If you haven't smoked it and you can get your hands on it, it's worth getting your hands on. It's a good cigar.
Excellent. I think that concludes Stogie Geeks news for today. Will, as always, thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul. We'll see you next week.
Take care.